Hey guys, welcome to another product showcase video. Today's product comes to us from Inwin. This is their new BUC mid-tower Destiny Light Series case. Okay, well first up we're going to talk about some of the specs on this case, some of the information you get on the side of it here. It uses a 12 centimeter silent fan series. It is water cooling ready, tool-free expansion slot, USB 3.0 ready, USB 2.0 ready, eSATA ready, ROHS, and SSD ready. So basically it's as modern of a case as you can get. It can take any of the new hardware, solid state drives, USB 3 connections, motherboards, that sort of thing. Let's have a look at the box itself. As typical with Inwin, they always do a wonderful job on the graphics on their box. See if we can spin this around for you. Get a better look at the case itself and the artwork that's on the box. It gives you a beautiful kind of side and front view of the case. It's a very handsome looking mid-tower case. Let's turn it over to the side here and we'll get some specs off of it for you. See if we can read that. Okay, mid-tower material is SECC steel. Drive bay is external 5 1/4 times 3, 3.5 inch by 1. Internal 3.5 and 2.5 device connectors by 5. Hot swap modules times 4. This handles a ATX and a micro ATX motherboard. It does not list an extended power supply. ATX 12 volt. Input output expansions, PCIe, PCI, AGP. There's 7 slots. Top ports, you get one USB 3.0, two USB 2.0s, one eSATA, and then your HD AC 97 audio if you have the old analog type 1/8 inch stereo headphone plugins. Thermal solutions is 12 centimeter front fan times 1, 12 centimeter rear fan times 1, and 12 centimeter top fan times 1. Maximum supports 12 centimeter side fans times 2 optional, so you can add them. And water cooling hole ready, so they already included a spot to run your hoses. Here's our dimensions on it. Height is 485 millimeter. Width is 210 millimeter. Depth is 506 millimeter, or in inches that would be 19.1 by 8.3 by 19.9. Okay, on the side of the box we get a key view of some of the features. Keyed entry to your hard drive bays. Very nice feature, so you don't have to pull the side cover off. Your hot swappable bays. Your USB 3.0 connector. Some of the features they got listed here is easy access to hard drive bay on side panel. SATA hard drive SSD hot swap module. Supports multiple high-end graphic cards, maximum length 30 centimeters or 11.8 inches, so it's going to handle the big cards. Supports USB 3.0 super speed interface, up to 9 drive bays, cable routing space, tool-free design, and removable anti-dust filters. So some very nice key features on this case. Now once again we see an excellent job in packaging, as we're used to seeing with Inwin. Comes in a very sturdy, thick-lined cardboard box, 2 styrofoam end caps on it, and the whole case is encased in a plastic wrap to protect it from scratches, dust, and debris. Okay, before we take a closer look at the case itself, let's look at the bundle that comes with it. They give you a large assortment of screws. There's a bag of rubber-mounted anti-vibration screws for all your different hard drives. A bag with your motherboard standoffs and your screws to mount that, as well as some other optical drive screws and some additional screws for other drives. It comes with an assortment of zip strips or cable ties, whatever you want to call them, for doing your cable management. Comes with a PC speaker for your motherboard, as well as a Molex to 3-pin fan connector for additional fans or CPU cooler, as well as 2 keys that'll run the side cover on the case, so you can open it up to change your hard drives. And it also comes with an illustration of the case itself, a blow up of the case showing all the individual parts. Let me set this aside and we'll have a closer look at the case itself. Okay, first up we're going to have a look at the front of the case itself. Here's our controls up on the top. Here it has a recessed power button so you can't accidentally hit it. It also has a recessed reset button so you can't accidentally bump that. 2 USB 2.0 ports, our HD audio for headphones and microphone, as well as an eSATA port. It comes with 3 5¼ inch optical drive bay covers. These are easily removed from the front to put in your Blu-ray drive or DVD burner. It also has an additional 3.5 inch slot in the front here that could be used for another device or possibly a fan controller if you have a 3.5 inch fan controller. In the front itself we see the large ventilated area. This is all ventilated for airflow, and behind it is your 120 millimeter or 12 centimeter intake fan. That's a blue lit LED fan. Let's move on to the top here. There is a tray on the top that you could put your MPEG player, phone, what have you. This is where your USB 3.0 port is plugged in, so you won't get them confused with your 2.0s in the front here. There is a large 120 millimeter exhaust fan on the top to blow the hot air off. This is all ventilated also. Let's move it around to the side. Okay, onto the left hand side of the case you can see a large ventilated area here. This does have a dust filter in it. You could mount 2 additional 120 millimeter fans here for extra cooling. Down here is where your hot swappable bays are for your hard drive. This is a lockable case, so if you take it to a LAN party or used in an office situation where you don't want the hard drives tampered with, you can literally access the hard drives and swap them out without having to remove the cover, which I think is a really nice feature. Something I haven't seen in other cases, that they give you access just to the hard drives. Let's spin it around to the back. Okay, on the back of the computer itself we see another 120 millimeter exhaust fan to blow heat out of the back of the computer, as well as 2 pass-through ports here that can be used for water cooling, where your I/O shield would go. They routed your USB 3 cable right up through the top of the case, so this could be turned around and plugged right into your motherboard for the top USB connector. There are 7 input-output spots for video cards, network card, accessories, what have you. And there is a bottom-mounted PSU unit, which is also ventilated on the bottom and filtered. Let's turn it around to the other side. Okay, on the right side of the case, you can see there's no ventilation on this side. There's simply just a handle to help you pull the side cover off, or access to behind your motherboard for cable management or mounting a CPU cooler. So let's spin it around and pull the cover open, and we'll have a look at the inside. Okay, before we pop the cover open, this is one thing I wanted to mention. One of the cool features I've noticed about this case, it doesn't use a thumb screw type side cover mount for it. They're simply pop-off covers. You pop the 2 of them off and the side cover can be removed very simply and easily. Okay, inside the case we'll see a nice yellow and black contrast here. They did a nice job with the coloring to make it really stand out and look bright. As you can see, these are your mounts for your optical drives here, as well as your slide out bays. These are your hot swappable hard drives. As the top one registers system to make sure that that's going to be your C drive. But all of these can be popped out and are hot swappable. I shouldn't say all, the top 4 are all hot swappable, and the bottom one is a standard mount. So if you have just a standard IDE type hard drive, something like that you want to use in there, you could mount it into the bottom one. And up here is your mount where you could put a 2.5 inch drive for an SSD drive. Let's look at the connectors that come with it. There's several of them here. Quite a bit of wiring because they give you all of the connections for the hot swappables. As you see, there's 4 connections for your motherboard, for your eSATAs, for all the 4 swappable drives. You wouldn't have to use all these unless you're going to use all 4 of the drives. These are your typical front connectors, your HD audio, as well as your USB connectors for your motherboard, and then your speaker, your power reset, typical stuff there, as well as the wiring for your fans itself to connect them, and then one connector here for your eSATA power to run them drives. As you can see on the back side here, that this is a typical toolless connection setup for your add-on drives, for your video cards and what have you. They can just simply be popped out, pop the new card in, and then lock it down. This does come with some cable management holes up on the side here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them going down the side. Another one here, a slot here that could be used. The cutout for the CPU cooler itself, as well as another port up here. And one point I really wanted to point out here that I really thought was interesting is how they raise where your mounts are for your motherboard, which I think is really nice, because sometimes you have, you know, a single wire or maybe a couple little wires that you need to run in behind the board, and generally they mount so flush to the case that they don't give you any room to run any cable behind it. But because this is bumped out, you know, probably a 1/4 inch or so, by the time you put your standoffs in there, that's going to bring it out maybe another 1/4 inch or so. So it's going to give you probably 3/8 of an inch to, you know, 1/2 an inch behind the motherboard to run some wires also, which is really cool. So let's spin it around the other way, and we'll pull the other side cover off and have a look at the cable management setup. Okay, on the back side itself, you can kind of see them holes I was talking about for your various cable management, as well as here's all your eSATA hookups for your hot swappables. Another nice thing is this is kind of curved here. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but this is recessed about a 1/4 inch or so in to give you additional room for cables along this slot. So they were really thinking of cable management in this case. And another thing is, I don't know if you can make that out, but I can pretty much put my finger right down in here all the way around. So they're giving you a good amount of room to run cables all the way around the bottom and on the side and on the top also. So an excellent case for cable management. I think that they did a wonderful job thinking of the modder, thinking of the gamer, you know, somebody that wants to put together a decent machine. If you're going to buy a decent case, why not do the cables on it? Why not make it look nice? So that's going to be it for this product showcase. We want to thank InWin for sending us this case. This is the BUC case, mid-tower ATX case. I think it's a wonderful unit. I'm really quite impressed with all the features of it. I think it's really offers a lot for a mid-tower case. Thinking of water cooling, thinking of hot swappable, toolless design, USB 3, pretty much all the features you could look for in a mid-tower case. Not to mention, it's just got very nice stylish looks to it. I think it's a really nice looking case that would be good in a, you know, for a home theater setup. It could be nice in an office setup, or just for your home gaming rig. You just want a stylish looking case to build your gamer with. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll answer them the best I can. And thanks again to InWin for providing this, and thank you for watching.